I woke up to the sound of drawers slamming, the kind of slamming that makes you question if the hinges are about to snap off. I groggily sat up, blinking against the early morning light, and there she was, Jessica, yanking open the dresser, rifling through my clothes like she was searching for a hidden treasure. "What the hell are you doing?" My voice was thick with sleep, but there was already something gnawing at the edge of my mind. Something off. She did not even turn around. "Where's your wallet?" I ran a hand down my face. "On the nightstand." "Why?" She snatched it up before I even finished speaking, flipping it open and pulling out my credit card, not her card, not the joint account card. I swung my legs over the bed. "Jess, what the hell?" She sighed dramatically, like I was exhausting her by simply existing. "Ryan needs it." That name alone was enough to set my teeth on edge. Her brother, a full-grown man who treated adulthood like an optional phase. I had paid his rent more times than I could count, covered his debts, even spotted him cash after he promised. Just this one time, bro. And yet here we were again. I reached for the card, but she jerked away. "You're not seriously going to be an ass about this, are you?" she snapped, crossing her arms. "He has family?" I exhaled sharply, standing up. "And I'm your husband. That's my money, Jess. He not just keep leeching off us forever." Her expression twisted, her lips curling in disgust like I had just said the most offensive thing imaginable. "He not leeching. He struggling. Maybe if you were not such a selfish piece of—" I held up a hand. "Do not, just do not." She took a step forward, shoving the card against my chest, not handing it back, shoving it. "Fina, keep it. I hope you sleep well at night knowing you letting my brother suffer." I should have left it there, should have walked away, but something inside me, something that had been wound tighter and tighter over the years, snapped. "You know what, I actually would sleep well, because it's not my job to be his personal ATM. And that's when she lost it." She turned, grabbed my coffee mug off the nightstand, and flung it straight at me. I barely had time to react before scalding hot liquid splashed across my chest. The pain was instant, burning through my shirt. But even through the shock I barely noticed, because she was already screaming, "Give him your things or get out." She was not hysterical. She was not emotional. It was pure cold rage, command, not a plea. Like I was an obstacle in her life, something to be removed if I was not going to comply. I looked at her, then really looked at her, the woman I had once loved, the woman I had built a life with. And in that moment, I felt absolutely nothing for her. No sadness, no pain, just clarity. She stormed out, slamming the door behind her so hard the walls shook. And I packed not just my clothes, not just the essentials. I emptied the house of every single thing that was mine. I called movers. I called a lawyer. I had everything in motion before she even had time to realize what was happening. By the time she came back that evening, dragging Ryan along like some pathetic little prince returning to his kingdom, they found something else instead, an empty house and a stranger in a suit waiting for them with papers in hand. Jessica's scream echoed off the empty walls, a raw, jagged sound that was not sadness or shock. It was pure fury. I stood outside, leaning against my car, watching through the window as she stormed into what used to be our living room. Ryan was right behind her, his face twisted in confusion as he took in the absolute nothingness around him. No coach, no TV, no rag, not a single trace of me left. The only thing in the room was a man in a dark suit, standing by the front door with a folder in his hands. "My lawyer," Jessica spun on him. "Who the hell are you? Where is my stuff?" The lawyer barely blinked. "Your husband has removed his belongings from the property. I'm here to discuss the next steps." Her hands curled into fists. "This is my house. It is a shared marital asset," he corrected smoothly, opening the folder. "And as of today, your husband has officially filed for divorce." Silence. I could see it in her face. The way her mind raced to process what was happening. The way her lips parted slightly as her eyes flicked from the empty room to the papers in his hands. Then her gaze snapped up and locked onto the front window. Onto me, A slow, dangerous realization crept into her expression. She had not won. She thought she could throw hot coffee at me, scream in my face, treat me like I was nothing. And that I'd still be there when she got home, waiting like a fool. Not this time. She shoved past the lawyer, yanking the front door open so hard it slammed against the wall. "You think you're so damn clever?" she hissed, marching toward me. "You think you can just pack up and run like some little coward?" I did not move. Did not even flinch. I had never seen her so unhinged. Her chest rose and fell in quick, uneven breaths, her hands shaking at her sides. Not with sadness, but with rage. Ryan, for once in his life, had nothing to say. He stayed on the porch, arms crossed, shifting from foot to foot like he wanted to say something but could not find the words. Jessica reached me, standing inches away, her voice dropping into something low and venomous. "You have no idea what you just did." I tilted my head. "Oh, I think I do." She let out a bitter laugh. "Yeah? And what's that?" I met her eyes. "I just got my life back." For a split second I saw it. The flicker of panic beneath her anger. The first crack in the armor. The realization that, for the first time ever, she had lost control. And I had taken it back. But Jessica was not the kind of woman who admitted defeat. She scoffed, crossing her arms. "You're going to regret this. You're nothing without me." That made me smile. A real, genuine smile. "Funny," I said, pushing off my car. "I was just about to say the same thing to you." And with that I got in, shut the door, and drove away. For the first time in years I felt free. But this was not over. Not by a long shot. The messages started an hour later. First just missed calls. Then voicemails. Then texts. One after another, non-stop. "Jessica, pick up the phone. I swear to God, if you do not answer me right now, what the hell is wrong with you?" I turned my phone face down on the table of my hotel room and exhaled. I was not surprised. Jessica was not the type to go quietly. After leaving, I checked into a hotel across town. I could have gone to a friend's place, but I did not want to explain anything yet. I needed time to breathe, time to sit in a quiet room, surrounded by my own decisions, and let it all sink in. And it was sinking in fast. I had just ended my marriage, walked away from everything I built with her in the span of a single afternoon. And I did not feel regret. Not even a little. My phone vibrated again. I sighed, flipping it over. "Jessica, where did you put my stuff?" There it was. The real question. She did not care that I was gone. Did not care that she had thrown burning coffee at me. Screamed in my face. Told me to leave. She cared that I took my things. I typed a single response. Me, I took what was mine. Everything else is still there. I saw the 3 dots appear. Then stop, then appear again. And then, "Jessica, are you serious? What about the TV?" I let out a short laugh, shaking my head. The TV, of course, that's what she cared about. Not the fact that her marriage just imploded. She called. I did not answer. She called again. Then again. Then, "Ryan, dude, answer her before she loses it." I raised an eyebrow at that. Before she loses it. Was that supposed to be a warning or a threat? I turned my phone off. I was not playing this game. I took a long hot shower, letting the weight of the day roll off my shoulders. By the time I stepped out, I felt lighter, exhausted, but lighter until I turned my phone back on and saw the email from Jessica B. Subject: "You're going to regret this." The moment I opened it, my stomach clenched because attached to the email were photos, screenshots of me from texts I had sent her, old messages, conversations from years ago, twisted out of context, things that if someone did not know better could be used against me, and below them a single sentence. "Let us see how your boss feels about this." My blood went cold. Jessica was not just angry. She was about to go nuclear. That I stared at the screen. My pulse thudding in my ears. Jessica had always been vindictive, but this was calculated. I scrolled through the screenshots, texts I had sent her over the years. Some sarcastic, some frustrated, some from arguments we'd had, but taken out of context, they painted a very different picture. One where I looked aggressive, unhinged, dangerous, and she knew exactly what she was doing. I took a deep breath, forcing myself to stay calm. She wanted a reaction. She wanted me to panic, to scramble, to call her and beg her not to do it. I was not giving her that satisfaction. Instead, I forwarded the email to my lawyer. Then I blocked her, but Jessica was not the type to stop just because I ignored her. Not even 20 minutes later, my phone lit up with a call from my boss. I knew before I even answered. "Hey man," his voice was tight, careful. "Jessica just called the office." "Of course, she did." I rubbed my temples and she sent some screenshots. "I do not really get it. They re out of order, out of context, but she's making it sound serious." He paused, like lawsuit serious. I let out a slow breath. "So that's the game she wanted to play. What did you tell her?" I asked. He sighed. "I told her to go to HR if she had a legitimate complaint. But honestly, dude, she sounded unhinged, kept saying you stole everything and abandoned her with nothing." I almost laughed at that. Abandoned her? The same woman who threw coffee at me and screamed for me to leave? The same woman who had been bleeding me dry for years while funneling my money to her useless brother? Yeah. Okay. She's trying to ruin me, I said bluntly. She's pissed that I left and took my things. So now she's going nuclear. Yeah, I figured as much. My boss muttered. Look, I do not know what's going on between you two, but I'm not getting involved. Just handle it before it gets worse. Before it gets worse. The problem was I knew Jessica, and this was only the beginning. By the time I hung up, I had 3 missed calls from an unknown number. I knew it was her. She must have realized I blocked her. Then a text from Ryan. Ryan, you're really going to let her do this? I frowned. Let her me? What the hell are you talking about? She's the one doing it. The dots appeared, then stopped, then appeared again. Ryan, she's pissed, man. She said you humiliated her. She wants to make you pay. Humiliated her by leaving? Me. She threw boiling coffee at me. She told me to leave. Now she's trying to ruin my career because she did not get what she wanted. No response. I ran a hand through my hair, exhaling sharply. I should have known she would not take this lying down. Jessica did not lose. Not without making sure the other person suffered for it. I needed to be 10 steps ahead. I grabbed my laptop and started making calls to my lawyer, to HR, to anyone who could help me get ahead of whatever nuclear bomb she was about to drop. Because if Jessica wanted war, she was about to find out. I was not going down without a fight. The next morning, I woke up to chaos. My lawyer had called twice. My email was flooded with damage control messages. HR, colleagues, even a few friends who had apparently been contacted by Jessica. She was not just trying to ruin my job. She was trying to torch my entire life. I scrolled through the messages. My jaw tightening with every new email. Jessica had sent out a mass email to people in my company, twisting the truth into something unrecognizable. Playing the victim, she claimed I had emotionally manipulated her, financially controlled her, and then abandoned her with no resources, leaving her destitute, the same woman who had a fully paid-off car, bought with my money, a house which I paid for, and a brother who had been mooching off me for years. I clenched my fists, forcing myself to breathe. She was good, too good. She knew exactly what words to use. How to spin things just right to make herself look like the helpless wife left in the cold. But the worst part, some people were buying it. Co-worker, Jenna Hay, I do not mean to pry, but Jessica emailed me this morning. She's saying you left her with nothing? Is everything okay? Co-worker Mike, man, I do not know what's going on. But your wife is telling people you stole from her? Friend Dan, dude, I just got a weird call from Jessica. She's saying some crazy stuff. Should I even ask? I gritted my teeth. This was not just a bitter ex trying to get revenge. This was strategic. She wanted to destroy my reputation. She wanted to isolate me, make me look like the villain while she played the wounded party. And if I did not act fast, she might actually pull it off. I picked up the phone and called my lawyer. "Morning," he answered briskly. "I assume you've seen the mess." "Oh, yeah?" I said darkly. "Tell me you have a plan." He sighed. "Well, the good news is none of this is illegal. The bad news is she is building a narrative that could hurt you if you do not counter it fast." "Counter it how?" "Evidence," he said simply. "Do you have anything?" "Texts, emails, proof that she is the one who wanted you gone." I closed my eyes. Yes, I had texts, voicemails, proof that she had thrown me out, not the other way around. But I also had something better. Video, a security camera mounted just inside the house, a camera she had forgotten existed. I exhaled sharply. I think I have exactly what we need. 3 hours later, I sat in my lawyer's office watching the playback. The footage was damning. Jessica, standing in the kitchen, screaming at me to get out while Ryan stood there smirking. Jessica throwing boiling coffee at me while I flinched back in pain. Jessica sneering as she told me I was nothing without her. I leaned back, watching as my lawyer smirked. "Well," he said, tapping his pen against the table, "that changes things." And for the first time since this nightmare started, I smirked to Jessica, thought she had me cornered, thought she had spun the perfect story. But she made one fatal mistake. She forgot the camera was watching. Jessica had no idea what was coming. I sat across from my lawyer watching the video replay again. Every second of it was pure, undeniable proof. Jessica screaming at me. Jessica hurling hot coffee in my face. Jessica telling me to leave, not the poor, abandoned wife she pretended to be, not the victim she painted herself as in those emails. I looked up at my lawyer. "How do we use this?" He leaned back in his chair, tapping his fingers against the desk. "Couple of ways. 1. We present this to HR and completely shut down whatever story she is trying to sell them. 2. We warn her officially, a cease and desist. Let her know that if she keeps spreading these lies, we will take legal action. Or I prompted, or we go nuclear first," defaulted his hands. "We take this footage and send it to everyone she contacted. The moment people see the truth, her whole act falls apart." I exhaled slowly. I wanted to end this. But I also wanted to end her control over my life. Send it to HR first, I decided, and the cease and desist. Make sure it's ironclad. My lawyer nodded. Consider it done. I was halfway back to my hotel when the text started. "Ryan, WTF did you do?" I smirked. Me nothing yet. By the time I checked my email, HR had already responded. HR Rep. Karen, we've received your evidence, and are reviewing it immediately. Please refrain from further communication with Jessica while we assess the situation. That meant one thing. Jessica had screwed up. HR did not get involved unless they saw a serious issue. And now she was on their radar. By evening, Jessica lost it. My phone lit up with an unknown number. I ignored it. Then another call and another, then a text. "Jessica, how dare you?" Then another, "Jessica, you think you can just ruin me?" I took a sip of my drink watching the messages pour in. She was unraveling. "Jessica, if you do not fix this right now, you're going to regret it." I laughed, actually laughed, because this was the real Jessica, not the sweet, perfect woman she pretended to be in front of others, not the fragile victim she played in her emails. This was the Jessica who threw coffee at me, the Jessica who screamed at me to get out, the Jessica who thought she could take everything from me and walk away without consequences. And now she was losing. I set down my phone and texted back one thing. "Me, check your email," because sitting in her inbox sent by my lawyer was the cease and desist. A legal warning that if she so much as breathed another lie about me, she'd be dragged into court. And just like that, the game had changed. Jessica did not take well to losing. I woke up the next morning to silence, no calls, no messages, no emails. It should have been a relief. But with Jessica, silence was dangerous. I checked my inbox, my texts, even social media, nothing, then a message from my lawyer. She has not responded to the cease and desist, no denial, no counterclaims, nothing. That was not like her. Jessica was the queen of excuses. If she thought she could spin something, she would. So why was not she fighting back? By the afternoon, I had my answer. Ryan, he showed up at my hotel unannounced. I had just grabbed a coffee from the lobby when I turned around and saw him standing near the entrance. Arms crossed, looking pissed. I sighed, already exhausted. What do you want, Ryan? He stormed over, shoving a finger in my face. You ruining her life. I laughed, actually laughed. Am I? Yes, you. I cut him off. Did I write those emails? Did I spread lies about my own marriage? Did I throw boiling coffee at my spouse? Ryan's mouth opened, but nothing came out. Because he knew he had stood there that morning and watched it happen. But of course, he was not here for the truth. He was here because Jessica sent him. She lost her job. He spat, arms tightening across his chest. I paused. That was unexpected. She what? Ryan huffed, shifting his weight. Yeah, genius. She got put on leave while they investigate her behavior. He threw the air quotes up, rolling his eyes. And now she's freaking out. Good. I shrugged. Not my problem. Ryan's face twisted with frustration. Dude, she's not going to stop. You think this is over? He shook his head. She's got nothing left to lose now. I should have felt bad. I did not. She lost because she started a fight she could not win. I said simply, now she can deal with the consequences. Ryan exhaled sharply, shaking his head like I was the crazy one. You know, for years she said you were a pushover. A weak little idiot who would never leave her. He smirked. Guess you finally grew a spine. Clenched my jaw. That was Jessica talking down to me, treating me like I was beneath her. Not anymore. Yeah, I said, stepping past him. Guess I did. That night, the emails started again. Jessica, you got me suspended. You have no idea what you just did. You better fix this. And then a voicemail. I almost did not listen. But something in me wanted to hear it. To hear just how desperate she'd become. I pressed play, static. Then Jessica's voice, low, controlled, furious. You want war? Fine. You think you've won? You have not a bitter laugh. You have no idea what's coming. The message cut off. I stared at my phone, pulse steady. I was not scared. But I knew one thing for sure. Jessica was not done. Not yet. Jessica was planning something. I knew at the moment I heard that voicemail. But what she had already tried to destroy my reputation, had already thrown lies into the world, hoping something would stick. And she failed. So what was left? I did not have to wait long to find out the next afternoon. I was in the middle of a call with my lawyer when my phone buzzed violently against the table, unknown number. I ignored it. Then another and another, 3 back-to-back calls, all from different unknown numbers. Something was wrong. I put my lawyer on speaker and picked up the 4th call. Hello? Yeah, hi. This is Officer Daniels with the local PD. We need you to come down to the station. I went completely still. Jessica, she actually did it. What is this about? I asked carefully. She's made some allegations. The officer said, we just need your statement. I closed my eyes, took a slow, steady breath. My lawyer's voice came through the speaker. My client will not be making any statements without legal representation present. Will be in touch. Then he hung up. I let my phone drop onto the table, running a hand down my face. She filed a police report. I muttered I had a feeling she would. My lawyer said, it's the last move she has left. But do not panic. We have the footage. We have proof. She has nothing. I wanted to believe that. But Jessica was not playing fair. She never had. 30 minutes later. I sat in my lawyer's office watching as he pulled up the official complaint. Jessica had filed the moment I read the words. I saw red emotional abuse, coercion, domestic violence, my hands curled into fists. She was accusing me, the man she literally threw hot coffee at, of abuse. This is pathetic. I muttered. My lawyer nodded. It's also legally dangerous if we do not handle it properly. He leaned forward. But here's the thing, Jessica messed up. She filed this after we already sent the cease and desist. That means we can prove she's retaliating. I exhaled slowly. She was trying to bury me. But all she had done was dig her own grave. What's our move? I asked. We counterfile, my lawyer said without hesitation. We bring the footage directly to the department. We show them that not only is she lying, but she is actively trying to ruin your life out of spite. And he smirked slightly. We press charges for the assault. I paused. Press charges. I had never even considered it. Not once. Even when she threw the coffee, even when she screamed at me to leave, even when she tried to destroy my career. But now she was trying to get me arrested. Clenched my jaw. Do it. That night I sat in my hotel room, staring out the window, waiting for a text, a call, anything. Jessica was about to get a very different phone call than she expected. One that told her she was the one under investigation now. She thought she was untouchable, that she could play victim and walk away unscathed. She had no idea that by the time I was finished, she'd be the one begging for mercy. Jessica cracked faster than I expected. The next morning, I got a message from my lawyer. She just got served. I could only imagine her face when she opened that envelope. When she saw that I had filed charges, that the man she tried to destroy had just flipped the entire game on her. She wanted to ruin me. Instead, she made herself a criminal. By noon, the text started. Jessica, you went to the police? Are you insane? Jessica, you see I not do this. You know damn well, I did not mean to. There it was. The first crack. I did not mean to. I smirked. She was already trying to walk it back. But it was too late. Because intent did not matter. She did throw coffee at me. She did try to ruin my reputation. She did file a false police report. And now she was the one facing real consequences. I ignored her. Then Ryan called. I answered just to hear him beg. Dude, he started immediately. His voice low. You need to drop this. I raised an eyebrow. Why? She's freaking out, man. Ryan hissed. She did not think you'd actually go to the cops. She thought he stopped. I smirked. She thought I'd just take it. Silence. Then quieter. She thinks you're trying to destroy her. Now that was funny. I exhaled through my nose. Ryan, let me ask you something. I said calmly. When she threw hot coffee at me, was she trying to destroy me? He did not answer. When she emailed my boss, was she trying to destroy me? Still nothing. When she filed that police report, was she trying to destroy me? Ryan swallowed. She was mad. Okay, I laughed. Actually laughed. Yeah. And now so am I. By the evening, Jessica had gone full desperation mode. My lawyer forwarded me an email from hers. Subject, proposal for withdrawal. Jessica wanted to drop everything. She wanted me to drop the charges, the lawsuit, everything. And in return, she'd retract her statements, sign the divorce papers and leave me alone. I sat back, reading the email over twice. That was it. Jessica, the woman who once screamed at me to get out of my own house, who tried to ruin my life, who thought she could destroy me without consequence, was surrendering. I could push forward. I could make her pay. Or I could end this now. I took a deep breath. I was not the same man who let her walk all over me. I was not scared of her anymore. I was not weak. And I did not need revenge. I just wanted my life back. I picked up my phone and texted my lawyer, but I wanted all in writing. This was the end. And this time, it was on my terms. Jessica signed the papers the next morning. No theatrics. No last-minute schemes. No attempts to twist the knife one last time. She signed. She withdrew the false report. She agreed in writing to never contact me again. And just like that, it was over. I sat in my lawyer's office, watching as he flipped through the documents, making sure every last detail was locked in. "Congratulations," he finally said, sliding the folder toward me. "You're a free man." I let out a slow breath. Free. I was not sure what that even meant anymore. For years I had been trapped in her world, her wants, her demands, her rules. And now, she was nothing to me. Just a name on a document. A mistake I had finally corrected. I stood, shaking my lawyer's hand. "Thanks for everything." He nodded. "Take care of yourself." I intended to. I walked out of that office feeling lighter than I had in years. No more fights. No more walking on eggshells. No more Jessica. I got in my car, turned my phone back on, and let out a short laugh. 50 missed calls. None of them from Jessica, all from Ryan. I did not bother listening to the voicemails. I could already guess what they said. "Come on, man," she asked, miserable. "You really had to go that far?" "Dude," she asked, crying. She asked, lost everything. I put my phone down. It was not my problem. Jessica did not lose everything. She threw everything away. That evening I stood in my new apartment. Just a small one-bedroom place with barely any furniture. Completely mine. I poured myself a drink and stepped onto the balcony, looking out over the city. For the first time in years, I was not stressed. Was not walking into another fight. Was not waiting for the next disaster. I was free. Jessica thought she had power over me. That I'd always crawl back. That I'd always be hers. But she was wrong. She made one fatal mistake. She thought I'd never leave. But I did. And I was never looking back.